Welcome everybody. My name is Michael, and today we're doing our first live stream, and I don't even know how long it's been, but I welcome everybody. I'm very excited. It's a gorgeous Sunday. Summer's here. We're finally going through a better period. This is halfway essentially through the year, and this year has been absolutely brutal for most of us. The economy has turned down. Crypto has been going through a little bit of a beating. And my own personal financial situation has been one of the worst it's ever been. But we're turning things around. We've tried Uber, we've tried switching dealerships, and it was rough, but we finally switched into a job that I'm very, very grateful to have. We are selling Volvos. I absolutely love Volvos. You got to be passionate about what you sell. And with that, I finally feel I'm in the right place. I was selling Infinities before, and without that experience, and also sold Mitsubishis, which was a rather tough sell, without that experience, I think it would be a very rough start at Volvo, suddenly going into car sales. In car sales, you don't have a lot of training, but it prepares you for whatever the next steps are, whether that be, hey, in a couple years I want to be a finance manager, or whether that's in a couple years I want to do sales, business to business sales, corporate sales. Right now we're working on my degree, should finish that by next year. That will be great if in the future I decide, hey, I want to exit car sales. It's going to be great experience. Hopefully we're able to make money, pay off my debts, start saving up money, and then we'll be able to hopefully move out of the state and either do some other corporate job for the first time ever, actually have a corporate job, or if I'm going to stay in car sales, hopefully become very, very good at what I'm doing, practice my craft, get better and better at it, get more experience. And sales is just going to be something that is going to help regardless of wherever you are in life. Now, for right now, this has been absolutely brutal. We've never been in this position before where suddenly everything within a matter of a couple months went completely downhill. So we had a situation where we weren't able to pay rent. We got a 5-day notice. We were close to eviction, got that paid just barely. Almost had our phones shut off because the phone company moved the bills, so they were going to be a little bit later. That was crazy because we had 1 day left, got that paid. Had a bunch of other late payments, never had late payments well, like 4 or 5 years ago, but since that time haven't had any late payments, and suddenly 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, started getting into the double digits. We were keeping track of everything, being very, very precise, and suddenly I couldn't keep track anymore. What sense did it make to keep track of everything if suddenly you are losing everything? I think I'm going to just put this live stream on as a video as well, and we're going to upload a video later today going through the full situation. But we're finally at this moment where we took out a loan that's going to be able to pay off other loans that are much, much higher interest, and we're in this training period right now. I'm working at Volvo, selling Volvo, sold 6 cars so far. Hopefully my goal is to stay double digits every single month. That will enable me to pay off some of the debts. We're going to a bankruptcy lawyer to remove other debts that can be removed, and with that we're going to be able to start building a base back up again. I'd love to get back into cryptocurrency. I'd love to start investing. Not anytime soon. That's not going to happen. We've definitely learned our lesson. I've been out of cryptocurrency for a while. I've had customers ask me, what do you think of this crypto, as soon as they find out I had some crypto experience. I'm a complete novice at it, just like I'm a complete novice at sales. We have to start from the ground up, completely baseline, clean slate essentially. Bankruptcy is going to definitely help out with that. Last year was a probably terrible year to do bankruptcy because I wouldn't be able to support myself had any emergencies popped up. And we did have emergencies such as root canals. We had other emergencies that were crazy. Now, finally, my wife is able to build her credit. She's able to work. She got her green card, social security number, so she's able to not only help out with income, but also if there would be emergency situations with her credit rising, we're going to be able to use her credit to secure a better apartment, better pricing for the apartments, because right now we're overpaying, and the only reason I'm at this apartment is because they accepted lower credit, and we're going to be able to get back on my feet. That is the first step, and hopefully we're able to get back into crypto, and later, I don't know, actually, have a savings fund, emergency fund, and all that stuff. This has been the most brutal year financially ever. I mean, it's been crazy. close to eviction. We're going to go through bankruptcy. We've never been in a position where we've had so many necessities that we couldn't pay for: gas, food, rent, electricity, the utilities, internet, phones, all the car payment, all of that stuff. Well, we got this loan from a family member that's going to be able to help out. Right now, don't have to pay it up until next year. That gives me 1 year to figure things out. That gives me 1 year to become very, very good at what I hopefully aspire to do, which is sell as many Volvos as I can. We moved into a store that's got a good team. I'm very happy with the location. It's closer to home, so less fuel, and it's so much better. Right now, I'm so grateful just to have a job, because doing Uber, even for 2-3 weeks full-time, that was a disaster. I don't know how people do it. It's crazy. It takes such a toll on your car. I made probably like $2,000 something in that 2 weeks. I don't know, maybe 2.5. And of that, I probably put 2,500 miles on my car. A lot of people don't factor in depreciation and taxes and the maintenance that goes into your vehicle. Now, my car is not worth a lot, so that's, hey, hello. Was it you that said you wanted a live stream? Someone said they wanted a live stream, so we're finally doing it. It is a crazy year. I'm very excited, starting up again from absolute zero. I mean, hopefully. We're right now negative, but bankruptcy should hopefully start with a clear slate. And I'm able to relax finally. Yeah, really cool to see you live. I know it's been forever. It's absolutely been forever. We can't do a long one, but this is just going to stay up probably as a little video just because my battery's running a little low. But I finally have some time to relax on a Sunday instead of freaking out. We're going to put in a lot of hours. We're able to, thankfully, with my job, control my income. Meaning, if I am having a bad week, I go in on my days off. I stay later. That's what I'm going to have to do. Right now, we're in this training period. We're started at a dealership that is the perfect transition. We went from one Infiniti to another Infiniti store. Absolute commission. Nothing sold for the first week, and then I got 2 sales the next week, and of that I made $1,000. I made $1,000 in 2 weeks, which was terrible. Switched that, went into Uber. Uber made like $2,000, but then again, you got to factor in gas. You got to factor in the fact that I've got a really small car, and people, it wasn't the most comfortable situation. Overall, had, I don't know, probably like 200 rides, and we were doing Uber Eats and DoorDash and multi-apping, and it was all right. If you're doing that part-time on top of your job, that's great. I got to hustle my way out of this. I got to work my way out. So that means essentially I'm not going to have a life for the next year, but I've got a plan. I got to finish up school. We're 22% done with school. It's kind of like a little video game. Every course that you complete, yes, we're closer to that bachelor's degree. That's going to be the backup plan, just in case if something doesn't go right with car sales. At least you're always going to have that experience from car sales. Okay, well, maybe I can go into sales either for a bank or for, I don't know, corporate positions once I get my bachelor's. I did apply for banks, and I did actually get multiple offers from them. The only problem is, even though that would probably be a very cool job, it's 9 to 5, super fun, whatever. Well, I don't know, maybe it's not fun. I have no idea how a day-to-day in the life of a banker or universal banker would look like. It's kind of glorified retail, I guess. But their pay was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And that's what most of America, even when you get your bachelor's degree, your first job, you're gonna make $40,000, $50,000 a year, and that's just not gonna cut it. We're not gonna be able to pay bills. So going into car sales so far right now, I'm very excited because it's so much easier to sell something. First of all, we've had the vehicle that I'm driving, a 2015 S60. We have a 2015 S60 on the lot. And I had a customer this past week looking at that. And it's so easy to sell something that you literally own. It's your own car. So any questions they have, yeah, let me tell you about all the pluses and all the negatives. And hey, if this car doesn't work for you, let me switch it to another car, because I know this car inside out. I love my car. It's so much easier to sell something when you feel extremely, even delusionally passionate about it. I don't know. Nothing can convince me that Volvo is a bad brand. Yeah, it may not be the best reliability for certain XC90s, whatever, but you see a lot of these Volvos around. I see more Volvos on the streets than Infinitis. Volvo is going the right way, where they're going EV and hybrids and mild hybrids, and they just released another car. Infiniti, no EVs, no hybrids, nothing. And yes, there's plans in the future, whatnot, but they're really slow considering, especially their parent company, Nissan, already has EV. They've had EVs with the Nissan Leaf and the Ariya and all, the hybrids that they're working on. They've had that going for years. And Infiniti, luxury brand, we've had customers that came in and, do you guys sell any EVs? No? Okay, that's not a problem. All right, let me just go to Lexus or, any other brand really that's working. Lexus, Toyota, they're just doing hybrids, but whatever. We would lose customers to that. Also, at that other store, we did sell a lot of interesting vehicles, manufacturer buyback, salvage titles, whatever. Weird titles where right now I've noticed that Volvo, there's less customers with bad credit. Usually it's middle age or maybe older customers that are on their second, third Volvo. There's a lot more Volvo brand loyalty. Infiniti, people would swap brands all the time. And the hardest sales were those between someone considering a Volvo or Infiniti. Because in my head, of course I would choose Volvo, but I would try and sell people on the Infiniti QX60 or QX50. And what's funny is we have a couple Infinitis on our lot right now. So if customers are coming in, hey, I know Infiniti, I know I'm starting to learn the new Volvo products. I'm very excited about where it's heading, and it seems that the pay is going to be better here. We started with a position now that is in a training period, so you have a salary plus commission similar to the other pay plan. Kind of sucks that it's bi-weekly, but a lot of jobs pay bi-weekly. The previous job was weekly, so transitioning from weekly to bi-weekly, suddenly there was 2-3 weeks where no payments, nothing, and that was brutal. But we're past that. I'm very excited. Hopefully by wintertime, we're going to be able to make some more exciting videos instead of just depressing, oh no, this is what happened. This emergency, that emergency, this sucks. Well, hopefully we're starting to finally develop a better skill set, more experience, and now, if ever, I'm going to be a lot more frugal. I'm going to I understand that there's so much risks involved with investing, where I made a bunch of mistakes when I was 18, 19, 20. So if we're ever going to go back into crypto, at least we're going to play it very, very safe. Where, yeah, sometimes you make a bunch of money if you put in risk, but I made a lot of dumb mistakes and I don't want to lose the entire house right now. So I'm very excited. Also, working every day with people who are already successful, who most of these clients are making over $100,000. I'm speaking with CEOs, with executives, with people who have been doing their jobs and they're very good at their jobs for the past 20, 30, 40 years. They have good advice. I ask, what does it take to be successful? And you just kind of build rapport with these customers, and hopefully you can build a base. If someone's going to stay in sales, especially in car sales, you're able to build that list. I also have customers that I've already sold to at Infiniti before, that I've seen at other dealerships, that I've seen around town, that have recognized me. And maybe I haven't sold them another car yet, but I've had people at the other dealership where I've sold 2 or 3 cars to their family members, to referrals. So that will slowly start building. I already am in a better position than people who are completely new to the industry, where already there's people who get stressed out. For me, it's fine. It's like a normal job, I feel great going in, and yeah, it's always fun at the beginning, then it gets boring later. But in sales, the number one thing right now is I have to pay bills. I have to do this. There's no slacking around or I'm going to be sitting at my desk. I am waiting for customers. I got to treat them right. I got to do the right things to them, give them a good deal. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody wants a good deal. But right now, thankfully, the market is improving for cars. It's not as overpriced as it was last year. Interest rates are still high, and hopefully they'll get better. But people are understanding. It's very exciting. I don't know where we're going to go next, but at the back of my head, there's a goal. Either if I'm going to be staying in the state of Illinois to, hopefully eventually in a couple of years, I don't know, get into a house. I don't know how that's going to go, but I'm very excited because my wife has a good job right now, and hopefully she's going to be, I know she's going to be progressing with her career. I'm very excited for her. I'm very excited for my friends who are also progressing in their careers. Let's take a look here. And my messages, for whatever reason, disappeared. Where did my messages go? Okay, there we go. How's your credit score growing? My credit score has tanked. I'll be honest, it has absolutely gone in the gutter. That's why at this point I could care less. I'm going into bankruptcy and it can't get any worse. It can, but it doesn't matter whether it's a 520, 519, 450. It doesn't matter at that point because I'm not going to be using credit probably for the next year, 2, 3. At this point, we're meeting with a bankruptcy lawyer later this month, free consultation. Last year we couldn't because First of all, didn't have money for a bankruptcy lawyer. We're now, since we had a family member give me a loan that's for the moment 0% interest, we're going to be able to use that money for a bankruptcy lawyer. So that was the first hurdle. Second hurdle was, well, I had a 600 credit score at one point. We grew from 490 to 600. Okay, well, we're able to move forwards. 600 is pretty close to 650 and 700. Well, it all tanked because we had to max out our credit cards. Essentially, when you lose your job, whether you quit, whether you get fired, whatever, and you have to go into doing Uber, it's not great because what if you're sick? Well, there's nothing that really helps you out. With sales, the same thing. If you're sick the first year, you have to wait until you come back in and sell more cars. But once you're at a store, year 1, year 2, year 3, there's vacation time that you can use up, and that'll pay for that week that you're sick or whatnot. Unlike Uber, you have to make sure that your car is running properly. If it's not, that's it. You can't drive, you can't deliver food, you can't do anything. There's plenty of interesting opportunities that are ahead of me. I see people that are very successful that are making over $100,000. Some of them are much younger than me. Some of them are like very, very good at what they do. There's a lot of experienced people at the dealership. There's one person who's been a master Volvo brand specialist for over 40 years, and I'm very excited to be able to just sit down and see what he knows. And he knows a lot about so many, like probably 80 different Volvos that were produced since the 1950s, 1960s, all this stuff, where that knowledge is crazy. It's insane just to be able to sit down with somebody like that who's very, very good at what they do, who's probably sold 7,000 clients. And at the other store that I went to for like 2 weeks, that other Infiniti store, there was a like crazy Infiniti salesman that sold close to 5,000 cars, and he had a list of all the people he sold, and he would call them every year wishing them a happy birthday, and hey, if I did a great job, can you refer some customers? He constantly had people coming in. At that point, it's just on easy mode because you have such a long list of customers, and yeah, not everything's going to be perfect, but there's going to be people who you sell 5, 6, 7 times to, and they're friends, and they keep coming back even if it's winter and it's tough and other salesmen aren't doing great. You have built that list. You have a little log, an Excel sheet like he had. He had trophies and whatnot. I want to get to that point, and I'm very excited. So right now, instead of like what we did when we had crypto and suddenly had some money come in and blow it all and just leave it in the investments until it went down to zero, now we're going to be penny pinching. We're going to be doing everything possible to get into a better situation. We got to hustle, and hopefully all turns out well. I'm very excited. Where previously, the past couple months, it's been like a disaster. I've had so much stress that I wasn't even able to think correctly. Glad to see things are looking up. I'm very, very, very excited. Banks are dope resume boosters. They are. I'm sorry, I didn't see that comment. They are. There's a lot of opportunity in banks, but the problem is, for many positions, no matter which career you go into, whether you have a degree or you don't have a degree, whether you have experience or you don't, whether you're going into a new career or something similar, you're always going to have to start from bottom, and you're going to have to work your way up, and it's tough. But eventually, year 1, year 2, year 3, it gets better. I'm very excited because in car sales, there's a real opportunity to go from $50,000 a year to 100, 250. There's salesmen making 200,000, but the real money is in the finance positions. Finance managers make $200,000, $300,000. I've seen it. I know there's plenty of people who are extremely good at what they do, but to get there, you have to prove yourself. You have to get a good amount of sales. You have to build rapport very quickly. You have to know what you're doing. You have to be detail oriented. And I had this manager at the previous store that was very good at what he did, but also ran the store like a tyrant. As in, every day coming into work, it was brutal. It was brutal. He would berate you for everything. And working with a man like that, it's a real shame because I wanted to learn more about how he sells, how he's able to get so good at what he does. But there was only glimpses of that, because to ask him a question, he would freak out. He would be, running with an iron fist. Everyone was scared of him. But eventually he was released from his role, went to a different dealership, and things kind of calmed down over there. But now I see that the knowledge that I've gained from him, because we did finance for a couple months, learning finance is incredible. That's huge. That's a big resume booster, and that's why some of these banks were like, yeah, of course, you've got sales experience, you've had marketing experience, and a little bit, even though it's a couple months, a little bit of finance experience. That's great. And you're going to college. That's perfect. But the problem is the banks don't really pay well. But there's so many careers, whether I stay in sales or not. Right now, my goal is to stay in car sales. I actually like car sales right now. I love selling Volvos. I really believe in them. There's a huge future. The electric versions of the EX30, the EX90, when those come out, there's a bunch of people constantly coming in. This store has better numbers. There's more salesmen. There's better inventory. And the best part is it's really quiet. Great for my ears. Also, Volvo is just a quiet brand. People, the average person is going to be like 40, 50 years old. They're not going to be blasting the radio. They're not going to be, drifting the cars and going 100 miles an hour, especially if it's a plug-in recharge. Those are quiet cars. Some of the cars we had at the other store were modified and whatnot. We don't really there might be one or two like off-brand, Porsches or whatever, Mustangs. But other than that, most of the cars are really quiet. So that's perfect for the ears. Your customer's a lot more relaxed. There's less people with bad credit. Overall, it's a good experience thus far. But again, I've only worked there for 3 weeks, so it's kind of tough to tell. But I'm very excited. Oh, and the hours are better. The hours are better. I'm able to choose my schedule, essentially. Yes, I'm scheduled for 44, 45 hours compared to the previous store where it was, 50 plus, and then really you were working 60 hours some weeks. Now, if I want to work 60 hours, I will, and I will be hustling. But if I know that, hey, it's kind of a slower day in the wintertime, like a blizzard, people aren't coming in, there's barely any appointments, yeah, let me come in for a late start. There's 2 late start days. There's a day where, you get to leave early. Right now, all the days that are 9 to 5s, I'm staying late because I know that people get off of work at 5, 6, 7 p.m. That's when they're coming in. And so far, every single day I've stayed late, I have either sold a car or been very close to selling a car. So it's an interesting point. We've definitely ventured far away from crypto right now, but I'm very, very excited for where it'll bring one. Who wants to see Michael? Yeah, that's not happening. I'm honestly thinking of, because I've filmed so many videos on Volvos, so many videos on cars. I really want to start a second channel, but it's been kind of tough with everything going on. Eventually, I am going to edit. Like, I literally have probably like 20, 30 videos just saved up around cars. I don't want to do like a car review channel, but just a little channel just for fun. Honestly, YouTube has been such a great pressure relief valve that it's the days where it's really stressful, really tough for whatever reason. I don't know, I'm feeling depressed, just go on, film a video, edit a video, and then we're all good. Also, it's been a little difficult with YouTube trying to film videos because my computer's not doing the best, but hey, it's a 6-7-year-old computer going on 7 years now that's definitely falling apart, but it's still doing its job for the most part. Sometimes randomly glitches and shuts off, but I'm excited, so hopefully we're able to earn some money later this year and actually purchase a better computer. Nothing too crazy, but something that at least is able to, render a video without frying, because sometimes when I'm trying to render a video, it like glitches out and just restarts the program, and you have to, restart, I wanted to say Sony Vegas. It's been years since I did Sony Vegas. Final Cut for like 5, 6, 7 times. But with everything, goal is in mind. Either get a house hopefully in a couple of years in Illinois, or big goal is maybe move out of the state. Maybe move to Arizona. I love Arizona. Number one thing is got to get out of debt. Got to go through bankruptcy. Got to have a savings fund, emergency fund. Get really, really good at what I do. And hopefully have a backup plan just in case. If Volvo doesn't work out for whatever reason, have a backup plan. But number one thing is just get extremely, extremely good at these couple skills. Maybe they're not amazing, obviously you got people who are making very good money who are extremely, extremely good at, being a doctor, a lawyer, these crazy professions that you spend 10, 15, 20 years becoming amazing at. But you've got normal careers where there's plumbers making 100,000, there's people fixing elevators making 100,000, there's construction guys, there's a bunch of people, normal everyday jobs where I see how much these people make. You just have to put in the time. You have to get very good at what you do, and you have to be a people person. That's the number one thing. If you're very good at your job, unless you're kind of working in an introverted field, I'm an introvert and working in an extroverted field, you kind of have to get out of your comfort zone. It is a little uncomfortable sometimes talking to so many people because honestly, there's days I just want to sit at home and stay silent. But obviously, you got to go into work. You got to pay the bills. It allows you to explore different avenues now. And if you're bad with people, how are you going to make money? How are you going to get better at your job? How are you going to get promotions? You're not, because people are going to skip over you. But if you're getting better at those people skills, people will like you and they'll see the value in you. And there we go. Plumbers make huge money. Honestly, some of these union jobs, oh man, I'm not the best obviously at physical work. I tried working in a warehouse. That didn't go so well. I mean, it was fine, but I honestly commend people who wake up every day, and most of these guys, I see them at the gas station early in the morning. They wake up, 5, 6, 7 a.m. and they work their entire day, physical labor. They make a lot of money. They earn it. They definitely earn it. It's a hard job, whatever it is, construction, or I've met people who have been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years and now their knees are going out and all that, but at least they have a retirement fund and all that. I do lawn care. There's a bunch of those, what do you call it? Landscaping companies in nearby. You see them every single day, and I looked up some of the numbers. These people, some of them are making good money. Some of them are definitely making good money, and later they create their own companies. There was one gentleman from my high school, from like the second high school I went to, where the first year he kind of just did it as a hobby. The second year he was able to buy a truck, like a used pickup truck or whatever. He bought a couple lawnmowers, got a couple of his friends, and by the second year he was able to make over $100,000. Had a bunch of other trucks that he purchased, and now probably it's like a normal landscaping company. And that guy's my age and probably making good, really, really good money, because last time I spoke with a teacher, that guy was making, again, 6 figures from something that started off as a hobby. And yeah, it was probably rough at first, and yeah, it's physical labor, but now he's probably at the point where he doesn't even have to do the physical labor anymore. He's got people working underneath him. He's an entrepreneur. So anyways, right now, just got to get really, really good. I don't know, just wanted to do a live stream. I wanted to talk about some things and finally got them out. So we're going to be uploading a video later today. I think I'm going to leave this up for a little bit. It's good seeing you guys. Finally some good news, I guess. We've had a lot. That's what I'm looking at next year. There we go, man. There we go. I wish you all the best of luck. Hopefully you're able to either create your company, or if it's your own company, get better at it. And that's pretty tough work. So props to you for keeping that up. And number one thing is customer relationships. Try and get as many good reviews as possible for your business, because in car sales that honestly helps. We ask for reviews after sales, and people see them online. I asked the guy who's been working 40 years. There was a gentleman that came in recently that just looked online, saw the good reviews, didn't know who he was, but the reviews were alone enough for him to look on the website. Who's been here the longest? Okay, that individual. I see his name in a couple Google reviews. Let me call him. I want to meet up with him. Boom. That was a sale. He never met the guy in person before coming in on that visit, but just the fact that he saw online the reputation was good. He saw there's good inventory. He saw, in the first couple of minutes of talking with this master specialist through the phone, that he really knows his stuff. That was enough for him to come in and buy a car. That's the tricky thing, is in car sales, a lot of people think you're a scammer and whatever, trying to make as much money. There's some deals that literally it's just $100 a deal. Yesterday I did sell a car, and at first I was looking at making $50. I think I made at the end of it like $150 off that car. Nothing crazy. People obviously think you make a lot more per car. Some cars, yeah, you might make $1,000 off of. Right now I'm on the training program, so that's not happening. But next month we're going pure commission. We're going to try and get better at what we do. The number one thing is people come in, they think you're a scammer, and if they're able to leave happy that they purchased the car of their dreams, most of these guys are saving up 2, 3, 4 years for that, dream XC90, or I sold some Mercedes GLSs, two this past week. Those are very exciting cars. There's tons of luxury equipment on that, and it's such a pleasure to see people who are extremely ecstatic. They purchased their dream car, and they left trusting you. They feel that you've made a good impact. They're happy with the experience. And buying cars is not a great pastime. It's not something someone wakes up and, hey, let me go to the dealership, let's have some fun. It's usually a pretty stressful process. There's finance involved, it takes a while, whatever. But as long as you provide a good experience, that's the number one thing. And you never know who you might meet, you know? Maybe make some friends or business partners in the future from these people. So really enjoy the channel, man, and the insight you give into your financial struggles and potential strategies you're considering going forward. I know a lot of us relate to that a lot, so very enjoyable. Thank you. Another thing that I'm thinking of, a friend of mine is, he was in car sales. He's thinking of going into real estate. To go into real estate, there's a lot of money in real estate, but it's usually the top 1, 2, 5%. And then everybody else in real estate barely makes any money, right? You have to have money saved up to go into real estate, whether that's real estate as a second job or a part-time job. You're purchasing and investing on your own properties, or you're being a mortgage broker, or you're being a realtor, or whatever, you know, outside of your working hours. There's many ways you can make money from real estate, but the number one thing is you need to have that money. You need to have good established credit. It's something that probably is going to be 5-10 years from now, but I see where the fields are that you don't necessarily have a degree. You don't necessarily have to have a degree for. You have to prepare for them, and I'm trying to plan it out. Right now, it's kind of difficult because, you know, number one thing is just survival, just pay the bills, just get out of debt. But once we get out of this, it was brutal. This year has been absolutely brutal, but it's finally starting to turn around. And this has been 5 years of debt now after, I mean, it's like 7 years of bad luck, right? You break a mirror, did some bad investments, boom, suddenly everything for the next 7 years is a disaster. The next decade, boom, just lost. However, at the end of this all, I'm hopeful, unless, you know, suddenly lightning strikes me from the sky or something crazy happens. Hopefully next year I'll be able to look back at this year and the past couple years and laugh, and we're stronger through it. We're able to, I mean, if for the average person, when I started explaining to some people from work or from, you know, clients, like some of the struggle, just a teeny tiny portion of some of the struggles, like financial struggles I go through, people are like, oh, they're already stressed out. To me, it's normal. It's like, okay, well, you know, there's another bill here, there's that. I don't get as stressed out by it, by the individual things anymore. So when we get out of debt, if ever in the future we're going to start our own business, or you know, do something outside of car sales, I'm going to have to learn a lot about whatever I go into, but I'm going to be more prepared. And also, even though it's not a great degree, I'm learning also about business and accounting and stuff that's actually really important. Because when I was 18 and 17, I started businesses and I had no idea what I was doing, like literally none. And the problem was, I got very, you know, my ego started growing because I saw the paychecks were rising, and I thought I knew what I was doing, and I was like, I don't need to know about that. I don't need to plan out that. Wrong. How wrong was I? And maybe things would have turned out differently had I had a little bit of knowledge in this and that. Like if I took some of those, like, accounting, oh Jesus. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. My phone went dark. All right. It is time to end the live stream. There we go. We put up the brightness. My phone's at 5%, so it is time to end the live stream. If I knew a little bit more about investing back then, maybe things could have turned out differently. So, starting with a fresh slate, I'm excited about what's going to happen. There's probably going to be some, you know, hiccups along the way, because it's not like, boop, the journey's kind of like, and then eventually go up to the top. But the good thing is I'm absolutely motivated, because our dealership is right next door to another big dealership, where this is like one of the largest dealership auto groups in the state of Illinois, and they have BMW, Porsche, Mercedes. They're building a Cadillac store right now. They have Infiniti, they got Honda, they got a couple other, but just seeing some of those cars pass by, it is an area where there's a lot of wealth. And just yesterday on the test drive, I saw a Ferrari, I saw a Lamborghini, I saw obviously a Porsche. There's people test driving the Porsche GT3 RSs and BMWs that just fly down. Also, the dealership is literally in like a perfect test drive route, because the previous dealership, yeah, you got 45 miles an hour here, you got 30 miles. This is like the perfect test drive route. You go into a little suburban area, okay, 25 mile, test out the potholes, and then bam, you can go 55 miles an hour. Obviously, I had the extra 5, 60 miles an hour. There's a light, so you go from 0 to 60, test out the acceleration. And some of these cars have good horsepower, especially the EVs now. Just lifts off. You have 400 horsepower. I'm very, very excited, because we're also planning on, the store's planning on putting in a Polestar hopefully Polestar division or whatever it's called, addition to the store in the future. Polestar is one of my favorite brands on top of Volvo because those cars are insane. Driving a Polestar 2, some of the cars we had at the previous dealership, those cars are quick. They're super, super futuristic looking. Polestar now is coming out with the 3, 4, and hopefully the 5 in the future. Those cars are epic, and being able to sell, yeah, the normal XC90s, but also having customers come in for some of these cars that have 500, 600 horsepower, it's awesome. Taking one more loan to fix your current issue with being unable to pay back loans always ends bad. Good luck to you. I'll say this and leave it alone. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I had no other choice. I literally had no other choice. We were facing eviction. So I've never been in that position before, but we just weren't able. We had zero. We had I was facing eviction because I started a new job and had nothing. Didn't receive my first paycheck yet. Now I have. Now we're also going to be getting paid for like bonuses and commissions, and even though we're paid bi-weekly for like the draw checks next month when we go commission, it should be technically every week, because every week, as long as you make sales, you're going to have a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, which we'll be able to, pay bills with. It's not a great solution, but it's a solution nonetheless. If one loan is 0%, or let's say 2% or 3%, and you're paying off the 30% interest loans, it's a temporary solution. Yes, it's temporary. The number one thing is you got to make more money, and bankruptcy. You got to make more money and bankruptcy for the banks, credit cards, all that stuff. So the other personal loans, like loans I took out from family, friends, those have to be paid off. Obviously, those are people that are going to be impacted. But I'm very excited. As long as everything goes well, which so far, right now, just in training mode, being able to already kind of hit the ground running, I'm very, very excited. I feel confident. I feel confident that we should be in a better position. And if not, then I don't know. We'll have to keep getting better. But anyways, that's it. My phone's about to die. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It's a gorgeous day. I'm very excited about summer. I'm also very excited about fall coming in. I know it's halfway through June, but when summer ends, it's going to be awesome, because now you're able to wear suits all the time, and sweaters, and it's pumpkin spice latte season, and you've got the best holidays coming in. You got October, Halloween, you're going to have Thanksgiving, and then before you know it, fall's over, and Christmas, one of my all-time favorite holidays. But before that, we've got 4th of July coming up, so hopefully everybody's going to have a fun 4th of July. We're off on 4th of July, so that's exciting. I'm not really going to do much, but hopefully you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Take care. Thanks for tuning in, and I really appreciate every single person that's watching, every person that's watched videos, interacted. It always helps out. Woo! So anyways, see you. Bye.